Butterfly Booktubers, how are you doing today? I just wanted to do a book review. Um, I just have been so busy lately, so I really haven't. I do apologize that I haven't posted more. And I know I say that posting probably every few weeks. But me and my wife just did a video yesterday with a very cool unboxing. I was very happy to get that. My reading TBR has changed so much. As far as the stuff I've wanted to read and then the stuff I was planning on reading, because just a lot of different things have happened that has made me want to change my reading TBR. I plan on reading the books that I've talked about prior. But there's a lot of series that I need to catch up on. One being the Shadowhunter series Chronicles, and I have only read the first book of the Infernal Devices, which is what I'm doing this review on. I've only read the first, which is Clockwork Angel, and then I've read City of Bones and City of Ashes, and then probably up to a couple hundred pages of City of Glass. And I've basically put it down, and then I've read other books, and so I've just got a lot I need to read. Sometimes it just seems endless, and then that's just one of the joys of being a avid reader. But I wanted to talk about a book that I just finished, and this was a reread for me, but being that it had been so long, it was almost like reading it for the first time, and I was just like, it was breathtaking. I can't believe that I've waited so long to complete the series. But I wanted to do and this is going to be a spoiler review. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, if you've not read Clockwork Angel, please, you can exit the video now, read it, come back, and we can discuss it. But I do have to warn you, it's going to be, there will be spoilers. But I wanted to talk about, the Clockwork Angel. And I just finished this baby right here, and I loved it. It is the first book in the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. It's set in the 1800s, and it's actually a prequel to the Mortal Instruments. But you can read the Infernal Devices first and not really be spoiled. But it basically, it was meant to, the Mortal Instruments was originally just going to be a trilogy, so you can read the first three of that, then these, and then the rest of the Mortal Instruments, and then move on to the novellas and then the Dark Artifices. But as I mentioned in my prior video, Emma Books is doing a read-along for the entire year read-along. And of course, I plan on reading all the Shadowhunter Chronicles, with an exception of Queen of Air and Darkness, because of course it doesn't come out in December. Probably be, I will have finished it well before. I think she has a schedule set for one book a month. I'm already done rereading almost done rereading City of Bones, because I've started that, rereading that, and I'm almost done with that one. But when I ended this one, I also wanted to get into this one, so I just started Clockwork Prince, but let's get into the review. This follows Tessa, and it starts out she's being deceived by what are called the Dark Sisters. They lead her to believe that they're going to take her to her brother, because she got a letter from her brother Nate, or Nathaniel Gray. I'm just trying to remember how it goes. She got a letter from him to go to London. Well, she goes there, and the Dark Sisters pretty much end up holding her captive and forcing her to use her powers. And she has the power to shapeshift, to assume the identity of anybody, as long as she has something that belongs to that person. So they trained her how to use her powers, and then she gets rescued by Will, who takes her back to the Institute. And so they form their relationship is pretty funny. He's pretty snarky, but she also meets Jim, who I absolutely adore. She happened to hear him playing his violin in the middle of the night, and then she meets him and starts talking to him, and then it just unravels. Basically, Lady Belcourt, which is Magnus Bane's. I believe she's with Magnus Bane, Lady Belcourt, which is Camille. She shows up at the Institute, and Tessa shows her powers. She gets something, and the Institute has agreed to help her find her brother. And so when Camille comes to the Institute, Camille lets her, gives her one of her belongings, and she changes into Camille. So, and the people that run the Institute are Charlotte and Henry. Well, they go to a party to find out who the Magister is, and that's who the Dark Sisters were training Tessa for. They were training her to use a power for the Magister, whom yet we don't know at this point who that is. So she goes to the party as Camille, disguised as Camille, and Will ends up being her subjugate, or pretend to be her subjugate, and they end up finding De Quincey. De Quincey is this vampire who they think is the Magister, who at this point they think is the Magister. And so from there, there's at the party, and when he has these parties, he kills a mundane. And when they take the hood off, she sees that it's her brother. There's a big battle basically there, and I'm just trying to remember. I mean, I just finished it. I'm trying to piece together how I want to explain it to you. So from that point, Quincy ends up getting away. Everybody is there. They kill all his vampire clan, and then somehow they find out that because Charlotte and Henry go to see Nate's employer, who is Mortman, and they find out that the Magister, and at this point they don't know, and of course Mortmain is the Magister, but they don't know that he is, and so he's telling them. So they find out that these automatons are being made, an army of them to defeat the Shadowhunters. Well, they're demon powered, so they can only enter the Institute if they have Shadowhunter blood. They can turn the knob to get into the Institute. And at the first battle, at the party where Tessa poses as Camille, Will Herondale, he ends up not accidentally, but I guess in order to get him away from Tessa, I don't know if he ends up biting him or something. So he ends up swallowing vampire blood. So he has to, when they get back, he has to drink holy water. And also just to basically to cleanse it out of him. Well, that's when he starts pushing Tessa away. Because up to this point, he's been pretty friendly to her. Not as friendly as Jim. I thought Jim is a lot more friendly to Tessa than Will, but he's really cold and distant to her. So just trying to see what happens after that, if I'm not leaving anything out. They end up, well, basically, to make a long story short, what happens is Mortman comes to the Institute, and when they rescue Nate, they end up rescuing Nathaniel Gray, which is Tessa's brother, from the Quincy's party, which is the first battle. And come to find out, he's not a very good person, because he ends up letting Mortmain know where he is, and he ends up luring Charlotte and Henry and all the rest of the Shadowhunters away, leaving Sophia, Agatha, Thomas, Jessamine, leaving them all at the Institute alone, pretty much unprotected. Will and Jem doesn't go with Charlotte and Henry, but they do end up going back to the Dark Sisters' house because they think that that's where Mortmain leads them to. So while they're gone, then they end up getting into the Institute, Mortmain and some of his automatons, and they end up killing Agatha and Thomas. And, which, Sophia leads, Tessa to the sanctuary inside the Institute, and, then, Mortmain ends up, glamoring, once they do end up getting in the safety of the sanctuary, and Jessamine ends up opening the door, and Tessa pretends to stab herself to make Mortmain think that she's dead. But they did end up losing they ended up losing some people. But so there was a lot of feels, a lot of tears shed. This is a very good book, and that's pretty much it. Leaves you, and it leaves on a little cliffhanger, because it leaves in the epilogue. It ends up leaving Will visiting Magnus Bane, and in the very last sentence, I believe, is "What can I do you for?" And so I had to know why Will was what Will was needing from Magnus. So that's why I started Clockwork Prince. But this is the first one I completed in the read-along. I really, really enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too boring telling you what this book was about, but I enjoyed it. I think because I've read City of Bones. Well, I'm rereading it now also. But I think out of the Infernal Devices and the Mortal Instrument, the Infernal Devices is going to be my favorite. Because I just love that time period also, the 1800s. I just love that setting. And you can see the cover. I mean, it's just beautiful. And I just recently got, as you can see in my prior video, I got all of them in hardback. But I will be continuing. Like I said, I'm going to be reading the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles. And I'm also planning on, she may have already read Witchwood, but if not, that's completely fine. I believe she said she was getting it on the 8th, and I don't know if she's already read it. I sent her a message on Goodreads and a couple messages through comments, but Melissa and I were supposed to buddy read Witchwood, but if not, I mean, that's okay. We can always buddy read another book. I mean, it's not a thing, if she's already read it. I just feel bad because I missed her, I saw all her comments, but I wasn't really sure when she was wanting to start it or how she's wanting to buddy read, but, Melissa, I do apologize if you've already read Witchwood and I'm buddy reading that with you, but if you have read any of the Shadowhunter books, and you want to buddy read any of those, definitely, let me know in the comments, because I will be, going through the, Shadowhunter Chronicles books, because, like I said, I didn't anticipate this read-along by Emma Books happening, and I was just so excited, and I just wanted to, want to participate, but anyway, I won't quit rambling. I feel like that's what I'm doing, but I just wanted to do my review. I guess I ought to tell you how many stars I give this. Definitely 5 stars. Definitely a 5-star book. And I have a feeling that this series is gonna wreck me. It's gonna break my heart. But I'm really rooting for Jim because I absolutely adore Jim. But anyway, I will end it here. But let me know in the comments. your thoughts and feels on this book if you've read it. Again, Melissa, I'm sorry if you've already read Witchwood, I apologize if I missed everybody reading it with you. Definitely let me, and also, if you want to, Melissa, if you want to add me on, if you have Facebook, or like, I have Facebook Messenger where we can communicate, better, because like I said, I definitely, do want to buddy read with you as well. But anyway, I will quit rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, please like, comment, subscribe below. And I'll also include, again, the links to the Dreg Society, and which is the Facebook group that is everyone who's joining the read along is in, and Emma Books is hosting. But I'll leave, I'll leave her channel linked in the description below as well. But until now, that's all for now, guys. Peace, love, coffee, and books. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.